You can take amazing macro abstract photos like this, or maybe like this, or anything else that you can think of with just a few simple items. Hi, I'm Ray Scott and welcome to Visual Art Photography, where today we're going to be doing macro abstract photos of glass crystal. Now the good news is if you don't have crystal in your home, maybe another family member will have it, or perhaps a neighbor, because if they know that you're a creative photographer, they also know that you'll go to any lengths to get the materials that you need so that you can get all of this out. But if you don't have crystal around, you may be able to use some type of beveled glass or some type of glass that has different ridges in it, things like that. It may work for you. But, okay, first of all, this is what we're using today. We're using a crystal pitcher. You may have a flower vase that's crystal. You may have some glasses that are crystal. They'll all work very, very well for you. We're also going to use some holiday lights, things that go around your home or maybe around a tree, something like that. They work really, really well. Now, you don't have to necessarily use this kind of lighting. You know, it's up to you what you want and what you have. You may want to use something like, maybe some cloth that's very, very colorful, or maybe even some Bristol board, as long as it's lit up really, really well so that you can have it refracted in the crystal or the glass itself. All right, you're going to need a macro lens, something that can get you up really, really close to your subject, a tripod, and maybe some kind of a remote release so that your camera can stay nice and steady and so that you can do other things. I'm going to show you the setup in just a couple of seconds. As usual, all of your very important questions and comments can be addressed down below. Now let's take a look at the setup, how we can get this going, and the results that we're going to get.
We start off showing the light only because that light is not throwing the light directly on the picture. It is actually firing the light a little bit in back of it, because I found when it was right on the picture that I had too many hot spots. There were too many bright spots. So I had some light coming in back of the picture. Now here you see me gathering those lights together in a bunch, and I'm holding up the remote release there so you can see that, and then placing the lights in back of the picture. Now I'm also looking through the viewfinder, but in reality I changed that technique and I just started using the screen on the back of the camera, because you know what? It's just a whole lot easier to compose when you're kind of sitting back and looking at the screen, moving the lights around, seeing the effects that you want, and then releasing the shutter when you see what you really want there. So that's what I actually ended up doing, and not looking through the viewfinder itself. First up, I'm using an aperture of f11. You probably should use that, or even f16, or even f22, depending. I'm using f11 kind of like a compromise because I didn't want the shutter speed to be too slow. I didn't want the lights to be moving around too much. I was hand holding the lights, so they weren't on a stand where they were very, very still. I just wanted some clarity from corner to corner. It didn't have to be perfect clarity. There was a little bit of softness. It didn't really matter that much. But because of the curvature of the picture, you have different depths of field. So of course the center, which is what I was focusing on, is very clear. The edge is a little bit softer, but nothing out of my range of acceptability. But look at the color and look at the pattern as I got up close with my 100 millimeter macro lens, f2.8 macro lens. So I was shooting at f11 with my remote shutter release, which really helped, and I was holding my hand in the back of this picture and in close and moving the lights around to get different colors. And this is another image, slightly different composition, but look at the color, the way it's just weaving itself through the crystal. Again, just moving the lights around, you get different colors in different spots. You may even want to use all the same color, maybe just a line of blue lights or green lights or red lights, and try that out for size. But it can be really, wow, it's in your face, right? And very clear. And you notice how the glass doesn't really look like glass. It kind of looks very metallic. Well, here's the ultimate metallic. You don't always have to go with color. You can go with black and white. just depends on what you want. There's no right or wrong. It's all about you and your creativity as a photographer. Or here, not quite as much color. I achieve this type of effect by holding the lights further away from the picture. All right? So the lights were quite far in back, so it wasn't picking up, it wasn't refracting as much light. And look, it's a little bit more subtle as you get lines of color as opposed to color that's right in your face. There's lines of color. Look at that, the blue, as it's kind of outlining the crystal itself. Now back to that big color. So you see the difference between, say, something like this, where the light has been held quite far away from the glass pitcher, and where it's been placed very, very close to the glass pitcher. Or just for fun, back up a little bit and maybe create a little bokeh for your image. It's up to you.
Well, as you can see, using crystal glass can be really a lot of fun, and you can get some really different and amazing results. I really hope you give it a go. Until next time, I'm Ray Scott, reminding you, it's not what you see, it's how you see it. And I'll see you soon.